Easy guys, Careless here. Oh my god, I was excited for this episode. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, this episode is just like kind of in-arc filler, but we finally get to see Krillin be the badass he was always meant to be. Like, always. Like, Dragon Ball levels of like kick-ass back in the early Budokai times. I mean, he kind of had the potential to do it throughout Dragon Ball Z, but was always kind of honed. As TFS have always said, he was the butt of all the jokes. But not this episode, not today. My boy Krillin finally got to show us what he is capable of, how intelligent he is. Mate, I can't grasp to you how excited I am that finally we get to see Krillin at his best. So, welcome to my discussion on episode 84, Son Goku the Recruiter invites Krillin and number 18. So, this episode starts off pretty innocuously. You just see Gohan and Goku talking, and it cuts straight to Krillin going about his daily job. Nothing too spectacular here. We all know he's a policeman or a copper. If you're over on the UK side, you know what I'm talking about. And he's just going about saving the day, being average Joe good guy, and we're like, good job. But I have to be honest, like, the amount of crime he stops in one day, I'm absolutely surprised there is any crime in this city whatsoever. Like, literally, like, in the first, like, a few minutes of this episode, he's literally pretty much done every possible crime you can commit and has stopped it with minimal effort. I know that obviously this is to show how much his training has really come on, whereas beforehand we saw in a previous episode that he was still taking hits, that basically he'd got rusty. But holy crap, dude! Like who needs who needs the rest of the police force? Like, it's just not necessary. Eventually, Goku and Gohan do show up, and they go and find him. They're like, "Oh, you see, you're working hard," because as we know, Goku hasn't done a proper day's work in his entire life, and so I'm surprised that you can even tell what it is. And he's like, "We need to have a talk to you about the tournament." So it cuts to their house, and clearly Goku has already explained to Krillin what the tournament's going to be about and what the rules are. And he's like, "I'm in an hour," and he's like, "Oh, Budokai, that I can do." I mean, you can tell Gohan is still not sure, but Goku seems to have utmost faith in Krillin. I don't know where it comes from. What does he know that we don't? But if you base it on what we've seen through Dragon Ball Z, clearly it's not the case. And I mean, this is coming from somebody who wants him to do well and wants Krillin to succeed and be the Bamf that he can be. And just, Dragon Ball Z really didn't show that, but Dragon Ball did. And I'm praying Akira Toriyama is like, we're going to give you old school Krillin, and he's going to be a badass. And so he says, yeah, he's up for it. He's like, amazing, definitely, on board. Android 18, not so much. I mean, she's on board with Krillin doing it, but Goku's like, do you want to come along? She's like, why should I? No money in it, not interested. And I'm just like, of all the character growth we've seen of all the characters, this feels like, I don't know, a little annoying. You'd have thought she would have at least wanted to go just to back up Krillin, but unless there's money, not interested. So, weirdly enough, Goku lies. Now, Goku does selfish stuff. Goku does dumb stuff. And you can correct me down in the chat if you want to, but I don't remember many times that Goku has just barefaced lie. Like, generally it's like a cheeky little white lie, or it's just, you know, like he's bending the truth. But there's been a lot of just barefaced lies in Dragon Ball Super. I don't know if this is a new thing, or maybe I've just got like my nostalgia goggles on for Goku, but it felt a little weird. But whatever. I mean, she is kind of aware that it seems a little bit more serious, and maybe that there's more going on. So, you know, props to Android 18 for being a damn sight smarter than anyone else in the room. But still, I didn't really enjoy that bit. Whatever. It's not really about Android 18. It's about Krillin. So they move on, and before like anything happens, Gohan's like, look, I want to see you fight. I want to see what you're capable of. And oh my god, I bet the Gohan fanboys are having a meltdown Hilarious. Absolutely fucking hilarious. Krillin absolutely schools Gohan on a Budokai fight. Yeah? That it is not about power. I mean, it's important. It's a factor. But it's about brains. It's about technique. It's about using your surroundings, your environment, and your enemy against you. Like, mate, you got a new technique. And please tell me that you don't see the GT nod here. The solar flare times 100. I'm like, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. I'm like, credit. I don't care though. I loved it. And I can't wait to see what other techniques he's got up his sleeve. Because he says to Gohan, Gohan's like, I'm amazed. I'm impressed. But Krillin says, I can't show you all my techniques. Otherwise it wouldn't be a surprise or, you know, whatever. The kind of, it's a bait and switch. He's on your team. He should know what you can do. Otherwise you can't really work for a team dynamic. Whatever, I don't care. It gets me hyped to see what Krillin can do going into the arc. Obviously after that, Goku's like super hyped. Yeah, like super hyped. He's seen two people fight, go at it, and Krillin win. Yeah, because he did win. I don't care what the Gohan fanboys say. He won, 100%. Yeah, so Goku wants to fight him. And for some reason we get a scene switch, which felt very, very weird. The scene switch moves them to the top of Satan Tower. Now, I don't know if this is a deliberate ploy just to give us a new fight place that they could do it on. I don't know. Fight place? Don't shoot me. Words did not come to my mouth. But we got a new location, the top of Mr. Satan's Tower. Cool. Whatever. It could be on top of a rock. It could be in the ocean. I really don't care. But to see Krillin and Goku fight like the old days, I'm on board. I'm there. Goosebumps. I'm hyped. Let's see what they do. And so they fight, and it's back and forth. And actually, Krillin again pulls out the sneaky tactics that he. If you've ever watched any Dragon Ball, and in Budokai, you know he's renowned for that kind of fighting style because he knows he can't brute force his way, and almost out of bounds Goku straight away. But Goku's having none of that. He's like, no, you're not gonna cheese me the way you cheese my son. And he goes Super Saiyan straight away. Yeah, and of course then it's a pretty fair fight. Like, it seems to be pretty cool. And you get some flashbacks, which, again, the nostalgia in me, I was just like loving it all the way. There was a little bit to do with Android 18 getting a little concerned that Goku might go all out and actually hurt Krillin, and that Krillin's tired after the fight with Gohan. However, Krillin's like, nah, man, his like martial arts blood is boiling. He's almost Saiyan-like in his urge to still want to fight. Not quite on the level, but you know, on a good level, and I you know, respects to him. And they have like a little stare off and a little smile, and it's really cute. And then Goku goes Super Saiyan Blue, and Krillin starts to quake. I mean, even he's aware that the power scale, like the gap, is just like insane. Like, even he can't fight that. But just when you think he's going to be like, nah, back down, he actually stands up and faces it again. This is one character throughout all of Dragon Ball that has faced enemies that are mind-blowingly more powerful than him and stood his ground. And yet, for some reason, always gets a lot of shit. Undeserved. But besides the point. Powers up, and they do a good old-fashioned slow-mo Kamehameha against each other. And the inner child in me was like, love it. Just amazing. Obviously, you expect that the Super Saiyan Blue Kamehameha is going to just shred Krillin out of existence. But for whether it's story, or whether they want to show you just how strong Krillin has become, they actually have a beam struggle, which was amazing. It just blew my mind. I was like, what? Now, I'm not anywhere near suggesting that Krillin is almost as powerful as Super Saiyan Blue. You're mad. But in a pinch, a little pinch, Krillin has what it takes to stand up against people far superior than him. Yeah? And I'm interested to see how he plays that in the arc going forward. I've said that a lot, arc going forward. I don't care. I'm excited. This episode gave me everything I wanted. Of course, the beam is going to finally like take over. But just as it looks like it's about to, Android comes in and kicks it away. It does look like it does make a connection with Krillin, but only briefly. So he felt the power of it. But rather than be sad, he was just more in shock than concerned for himself. Now, the ending is what really kind of interests me. They bring up the fact that it's a battle royale a few times throughout the episode, but it's only a brief mention. But Android 18 is so, like, I don't know if angry is the right word or concerned with how the fight went with Goku and Krillin, but she offers to do a duo, so a handicap match, 2v1. And as he's about, and she's like, look, I'll fight with you. You've got some ideas in your head for how we can fight? And Krillin's like, yeah, of course, 100%. And so, again, that's obvious hinting and foreshadowing that we're going to see combo techniques of Krillin and Android 18. But just as that's about to happen, Goku depowers, and he's like, nah, it's cool, no sweat. I've learned some stuff here today. I mean, he, like, during the fight, Krillin outsmarted Goku a few times, which means that his techniques were as fast or faster than what Goku was able to perceive, which is interesting. I'm not sure if that was just from, again, a story point of view, but I still enjoyed it greatly. And that was the whole episode. Obviously, we then did get, like, a little sneaky peek at what next week is. And again, I'm hyped. Like, I can't explain to you how excited I am. We saw what essentially looks like good guy evil Majin Buu. So, let's think about that. We saw Majin Buu, so Mr. Buu, in the shape or form of what evil Buu looked like, or Super Buu, for those who, you know, Super Buu, but with his outfit. And I'm like, amazing. And then we get to see him fighting Goku. So, that's crazy. And of course, there was a little Easter egg. We're going to see Android 17, but I feel like that's going to get built on more next episode. Just a brief mention. Really not much to just talk about it. When there is something to talk about, obviously I'll talk about it. But really, that sneaky peek was more about the skinny Mr. Buu. So I'm wondering if they're going to do something with his character. Whether they're going to mature him or, I don't know, or new techniques or what. But we're going to get a little indicator of what Mr. Buu has been up to have such a drastic change. I don't think it's a transformation. I don't think it's anything like that. But we're going to see what's going to happen. Now, I'm hoping we're going to get to see, like, Super Buu at his, like, with potential. So that's what I'm hoping for next week's episode. And of course, we're going to get something on Android 17. If I don't sound that hyped about Android 17, it's because, honestly, he hasn't been mentioned and there's been almost no reference of him since Dragon Ball Z Android Saga and that one appearance with him giving energy. So once there's something to be excited about him, I'm interested to see where that goes. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, that was the whole episode. If I was going to say anything about this episode, I'd say that this has been my favorite episode for maybe since the Gohan fight. The Gohan fight versus Lavender. That was the last time I was this excited. So I'm really, really hyped to see what the Battle Royals got up. And next week's episode with Super Mr. Buu, as I'm going to call him for now. Super Mr. Buu. Of course, if you enjoyed this discussion or you have any comments of your own, well, of course, leave them down below. But I've been Careless, and I will catch you next time.